Bada boom, bada bing.
What's going on? Beer Rap and Banter at Beer Rap Bants. Myself, English.
Myself, Cal Serious.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe at Beer Rap Bants, Beer Rap and Banter at gmail.com.
Subscribe.
That's it. Today we've got a special guest, another wonderful person. Genesis Elijah, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yes, Jen. Good to see you, bro.
Obligatory handshake. Here we go.
Come on.
I can't do the click and be as cool as Cal. I learned that from him, innit?
I got to say though, brother.
There's different type of handshakes. You ever do the thumb thing? Like,
oh yeah, the thumbs. That's an Elstone thing.
I don't like all that, man. It's all too much. Like all the thumbs and clicking and like, man, just either shake my hand, tap my fist.
Have you ever gone for the awkward handshake and someone's gone to spud and vice versa?
Yeah, bare times.
Bare times. What do you do? Just grab the fist like that and look at
paper. You guys gotta go, paper.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Just like Thanos and just... Anyway, sorry. Cheers. Anyway, this is Beer Rap and Banter. Cheers. Thank you for coming on the show. How you been, man?
I've been blessed. I've been good. Yeah, man.
You been busy?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Very busy. Too busy.
Too busy.
That sounds like a good situation to be in, man. So lots of work coming from all different angles. I know you're a man that with many strings to his bow. Is there anything in particular that you prefer doing?
This has been a question that's been on my mind for a long time because obviously, like, I'm a big believer in doing what you love, but then the question becomes like, what do you love doing? And for me, it seems I'm a lazy person, man. Like, I love just chilling it. So I've been trying to figure out, like, okay, cool, but what? You can't just chill forever. You got to do some work. What doesn't feel like work? And I've just been trying to. I do love music, and I think as much as I've done music and done other things, music is the only thing that doesn't feel like work to me.
That's dope, man. I know you're a big family man as well, so maybe chilling with the family could mean doing something like keeping up with the Kardashians. Maybe that could be something that you love doing.
Yeah, I'm a homebody.
Yeah,
you see that doing a Kardashian
what are they
show.
doing? They're not doing anything, bro. They're just chilling.
Jen and Corinne coming soon to E. No.
Yeah. You can YouTube that.
Coming soon to E at TV. I'm only playing, man. But yeah, it's definitely good to have you here, man.
Safe, man.
Obviously, we've known each other for a while.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, I think it's dope seeing your progression as an artist. Having come from like, just sort of selling mixtapes and just rapping, getting the raps in to being an entrepreneur and selling clothing and, moving into sort of like a creative space of being a filmmaker.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the videos that you've worked on are absolutely incredible, man.
Thank you.
Like dope stuff. You're a big player in the UK rap scene over here. I don't know. Have you got anything that you kind of look back on fondly and think, yeah, this was like probably one of the best things that I've done?
I think obviously in hindsight, everything seems a lot better. Like you said, we've known each other for a long time. I think one of the cool things is really just looking back and seeing how far everybody has come. And it's funny because when we were younger, especially younger artists, we're always like anti-establishment, anti-industry, yeah? And a little while ago, I did a show for THTC, and I remember sitting there and just thinking, all my mates are now industry. Like, everyone's industry.
That's dope.
Like, and in a good way. And I feel like being able to look back at that and just seeing how people have grown and how people have kind of just stayed focused on on their passion. And I'm a big believer in, if you do stay focused on your passion, you're going to find your way in it. And that's what a lot of people have done. A lot of people have just really just stuck to what they love, and they've come up in the game as the UK scene has changed. Like, we've going back a little while when you had artists like Sway. Sway was the biggest. He was the top. That's as far as it could go. Now,
shout out to Sway the Southpaw.
Big up Sway.
Great battle rapper back in the day. A lot of people don't know that his earlier stuff with One Crew.
I remember that. I was there.
Yeah, Battle Scars.
Battle Scars.
So
man.
was I.
Yeah.
How's the battle?
Yeah.
There you go.
He was cold.
Yeah, he was this. Yeah.
I remember him battling Lyrical, and he dropped one bar. Yeah. He said, He goes, "You're so ugly, you're handsome."
Oh my!
And the place went crazy.
It's funny because I was there.
Yeah,
I was there.
That was mad.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he used to have the do-rag and like he was before he switched up the flow. Yeah, he was.
A lot of, you know what? A lot of people, I think Scribbler was battling there on that one as well. There was a lot of guys rappers that went on to do their thing.
Was it Subterranean? Was it Subterranean?
I can't remember where it was.
Battle Scars though. Big up Lawyer and everyone involved. But yeah, sorry.
Big up Lawyer, man. I see him doing his little gym thing, like getting in shape. I see him, man.
Never
Man
too
just
old.
got a haircut, like, you know what I mean? He's out here trying to look all young.
He's doing some kung fu or something now as well.
He's doing madness. I've seen him with, man. Big up Lawyer.
Do you think the scene's like, it's obviously evolved, but do you think for the better, in a positive way, the way the younger generations now have all got the media at the palm of their hands and it's a lot more DIY emphasis, they're doing the distribution themselves, they're not having to try and get signed, they can access their audience almost immediately?
I think it's a good thing. I think ownership, whenever you can have ownership over what you do, that's always a good thing. Before, the idea of I'm trying to get signed, the idea of even having gatekeepers, like, oh, you got to go see this man and you got to do this, you got to do that. Now you don't have to do any of that. You just have to have your own fan base. And if you can get that, then you're patterned, you're sorted. And I feel like that's, to me, you're in a much better position.
Do you think though that there's no sort of gatekeepers, that you get a lot of rubbish though coming through as well? So back in the day, it was sort of quality would only rise to the top, where now it's anything can run, anyone can go.
Open season on SoundCloud.
Okay, that's cool, yeah, but then the market's the market, innit? So if you're rubbish and people like your music, you're not rubbish. And that's just the way it is. And we can have our opinion and be like, nah, you can't rap, or that's production's rubbish, or it ain't mixed, or whatever. And it doesn't even matter, because the things that used to mean things don't mean them same things anymore. So we're talking about, you know what I mean? We say about the rappity rap. And I remember sitting down and writing your bars, rewriting bars, and all of us, there'd be 5 man in the studio and we're just like, what did he write? Nah, I've got to come hard. And
it's competitive though.
Super. But the aim was different. We were sitting there in a room, 5 man deep, and I'm trying to write these lines so that when I spit, he's going to go, what that mean? And I explain it to him. Nah, because you didn't get that. And he's like, oh, yeah. And that's what we did it for. They don't do it for those reasons anymore. The whole thing is about vibe. The vibe is different.
Yeah, the wave,
And almost, I feel like, even that way of thinking kind of missed the point as well. Because to me, music is like, it's like a cake, innit? So you can sit there and go, yeah, but I've used the best ingredients, yeah. I've got organic flour, yeah. I've got sugar that comes from Peru. I've got this, that, and the third. But it's like, what does it taste like? Does it taste good? We come in to eat it. We didn't come to break down the ingredients. And I feel like a lot of purists are trying to break down and go, yeah, but look, man, dun. I'm like, yeah, but your cake tastes dry, innit? So no one cares. And that's the difference. It's like trying to figure out, like we were saying before, about balance. How's it balanced?
I thought it was an interesting point you touched on when you talked about, you know, it doesn't necessarily matter so much about certain things that aren't right. Because that kind of made me think, I think you specifically mentioned Mixdown, and that kind of made me think about Triple X Tentacion.
Yeah.
When he first came
Rest in
out,
peace.
his Mixdowns were terrible.
Yeah.
Like the sound quality just wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I could see that this kid's got potential, and if he just works with a producer and an engineer and someone that can guide him and steer him, he's going to be massive, and the rest is history.
Okay, but saying that, Wu-Tang's first album, some of the mixes are horrible, right?
I was RZA mixing those
Can't
down
front.
as well.
Because again, it says quitting, but it's raw.
Just
It
learning as you go
sounded
along,
raw,
you know what I mean?
right? Then when you listen to like when it's more polished, it just hasn't got that same feel to it. So again, same with X. You're listening to something and you're just like, nah, this is super raw. This is just a kid in his room. Just, you know what I mean? And there's something about that that's gonna draw people to it. And I feel like that's the part. And another thing to always remember is not everything is for you, and not everything is for us.
Different generations, innit?
100%. You ain't supposed to be liking certain music. That's just it, man.
100%.
Big man thing.
Big man thing, straight up and down.
That's it. Talking of your music, you had a project recently. How's that been going on? Sort of being independent and doing it yourself?
100%.
With your merchandise. Just speak on that, and people can check it out, and, you know.
Yeah, so I guess being an independent artist, you kind of got to be a little bit smart in how you put things together. And also you got to be flexible in how you put things together. So what had happened is I was dropping individual tracks, not even singles. I was just dropping tracks, and for whatever reason they were getting playlisted. They were doing well. So when I got to, I think I had maybe 4 or 5 that had all been playlisted, been doing really well, and I thought, you know what, let me just put these together on one project and add a few others as well, and they happen to do well also. And really that's just kind of just utilizing the streaming game, because it's different now. So you might have a stream for a single, but then you put that single together with an EP that all counts as the same thing. So you're just adding those numbers, you're getting more views, more streams, your people are seeing your music a lot more, and I just felt like that was the right thing to do, just to get it out there, man, get people to see it a little bit more.
Yeah, because you got a lyric about flying out to Portugal, with no sort of promo or backing, just off this Spotify stream. So
100% facts.
Yeah, just talk about sort of how that's widening your audience, and then you're going directly to them, and you're selling out your shows and selling all your clothes and whatnot. Again,
it's just coming back to that whole thing of the market is the market. There's no middle people, there's no middleman. You don't have to go through anybody to reach who you're talking to reach your audience. And also you have to kind of understand that because there's no middle person, you are now in charge of your customer service. So how you engage with people as well. And for me, engagement is way more important than numbers. There's numbers everywhere. There's a lot of noise. Like, you can go online, everyone's talking, everyone has an opinion, everyone's saying boom, boom, whatever. But it's where do you find people that reach out to you and you make sure that you reach back, because the engagement is way more important, and that's how you build community. And that's kind of what I've been doing since the MySpace days, which is why I still have fans from the MySpace days that still, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's way more important than trying to get all those numbers, because someone said the other day, if you want to see how a rapper's doing, go to their shows. If you want to see how much money they're making, don't look at the numbers. Numbers are cool, whatever. Who's at the shows? And that's
the real fans.
That's the real fans. They're coming to see you.
Who's going to put their hand in their pocket? So and Cal touched on this sort of back in the day, selling your mixtape. And Cal knows because you used to sell your mixtape. And I know because I used to try and sell vinyl on road and CDs.
That is a hard hustle, trying to sell vinyls on road.
One time I had my vinyls in a box, and I got on the bus and someone thought it was pizza or something like that. I thought I was trying to hustle pizzas, and I'm like, listen, I'm not that broke to try and hustle pizza slices, but I would if I had to back in the day. But
painting an idea that could work, you know.
What, cold pizza, fam? You serious?
Man, you get it hot, man.
Get it hot. On the bus. Just jump on the 48 from Walthamstow to Hackney, then pizzas will sell off.
You've been watching too much Top Boy, man.
They didn't sell pizzas in that, did they?
No, they was trying to sell something else, though.
Anyway, I forget what we was talking about. Oh, so sorry, yeah. So just talk, yeah. I forgot what we was talking about. Just sort of selling. You threw me with that curveball. Selling your shit, selling your stuff, and you really see your fans who put their hands in their pocket and come to your show and buy your stuff and want to mess with you because your friends or other people be like, get us in for free, guess this, or can you lend, they don't really want to buy it or support it. And because we're coming from a streaming time now, it's £5, £10 a month stream.
Yeah.
Or if you can patent someone else's stream, it's so that's important for you.
That's why I say, man, it's fans over friends, because true friends are your biggest fans.
Say it again for the people at the back. Turn it up, YouTube and podcast listeners.
It's fans over friends, because your friends are your biggest fans. And that came from my brother-in-law. Bars. I did a show, and my brother-in-law turned up. Like, didn't even tell me he was turning up, man. I just see him there. Like, he paid for his ticket to come to the show. Like, you know what I mean? He anytime I drop merch, he's buying it, and it just kind of just let me know that there's a lot of people that will say that they're supporting you, but when it comes down to it, this is how if you're gonna support, put your money in your pocket. And that's why you see me on Twitter dropping things all the time. Yo, you got merch? Drop your merch. Let me buy something. Let me support.
Yeah.
Because I understand how important that is. And going back to the selling CDs, I did that for years. And last night, someone messaged me and was like, I put your video up on my IG story, and someone was like, "Raw, I bought a CD of him back in the day." And this is that, and I get that all the time. And I ain't sold a CD since 2006, but
there's some people still out there trying to sell CDs in 2019.
I see him. I bought one the other day, I bought one the other day.
Just for Go on.
I bought one the other day. Yeah.
Have you even got anything to play a CD?
No.
But you know, it's coming like it's an old record player or tape.
Like that, you know what I mean?
Your kids and our kids of the future can be like, what's this CD? And it's like, but you know, the quality-wise, CD's still better than anything.
All it is time's moved on. Things have gone more digital.
Times have moved
unless
on.
you're like a collector and you're, buying cassettes and you're buying vinyls.
But I think cassettes and vinyl have that nostalgic feel where certain labels are like dope and other labels are putting out tapes on a short run, like other artists we know, and it's selling out because of that whole nostalgic vibe. And the vinyl will always, vinyl's always king, innit? You know, you're going to have your granddad buying vinyl, your cousin, you're going to buy vinyl just because whatever. But CD is a next hustle in 2019.
It's mad. But the next project we're going to do vinyl. We're going to do, we're going to do cassette as well.
Yeah.
Like, because people, I just do what people ask for. Like, people are asking for, they want certain things. And again, it's a little bit slower when you're having to fund it yourself. But for the next project, I'm going to plan ahead and get those done. Because I did CDs for this last project. And again, that's something that I wouldn't normally do. But again, the demand is there. So
what do you think the market for that is now? Is it like people in their cars? Because like if you go to a rave, people are still handing out promo CDs with a DJ mix on it. And I guess in a car you might have like a CD changer still, or CD player.
I've still got a CD player.
There you go.
I've got an old whip.
Well, you are a bit old school with your car stereo. No Bluetooth or nothing, man. Come on,
shut up,
son.
man. Don't hold me up, son. I'm trying to get this podcast money up, son.
I hop in the car with some fire on my phone. I can't even play nothing. I'm like, come on, bro.
You got aux.
I had the aux, but it broke. I had to pattern the aux to the radio. You know them ones, innit? Hey, don't baby up, man. He has to hold the phone like this and play.
I'm like, yeah, bro, this is the tune. This is the tune.
No bass and nothing.
No, but man have mortgages in it, so.
Hey, that's how you flex nowadays. That's how you flex.
He's got 2 mortgages, trying to pattern.
Man's got property in it. Man's got property
man's
still.
trying to go abroad and all that. But we'll talk about that anyway.
But tell us about this new project of yours, Jen.
So you know what? The project that's out right now is called "It Will All End in Tears."
Really like that, by the way.
Thank you, man.
Like the title track.
Thank you.
Solid. Very very introspective and talking a lot of, real stuff.
And that's, I think, as I get older and as I progress in music, I'm just more interested in really trying to become introspective in what I'm saying. I'm trying to connect with other people, but even more so, I'm trying to connect with myself. Like, I'm trying to figure out, what do I really want to say? Like, what's really important to me? And I feel like the more I do that, the more I connect with people. I just put up a little track that I've recorded yesterday, put a video up on IG and whatever. And someone messaged me and was like, actually two separate people messaged me like, yo, I felt every single word, man. Like, get out my head. And I'm just like, that's so weird, because I didn't think of anyone else when I wrote that. It's literally just what was in my head. I was sitting there, I recorded it. My wife was sitting on the couch as I recorded it. And I even turned around to her, I said, you know what I like about this? I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know what I'm going to say next. But I'm just recording and it goes somewhere, and then other people feel it and relate to it. And I'm just trying to get to a place where all my music does that. Because I don't really care about, I'm not here to I'm not making a hit. I'm not here to make hits. Like, I honestly don't really care about playlist placements anymore. They're nice to have, but the music I make comes first. If it gets that, it gets that. But I'm really just trying to, if you listen to it, like you listen to the last album, Private Moments in Public, you listen to this, I want you to understand who I am through music, so that when I'm gone, that's the diary of my life, man. There's things in there that you can say, yeah, like, you know what I mean? He said he said who he was. And I feel like that gets lost in a lot of music, because I feel like a lot of times I listen to my favorite artists I listen to are guys I listen to and go, yeah, I know that guy, innit? I can feel it. Like, I don't know, it can be anyone from Bugsy to Heady One. I listen, I'm like I get you. And I feel like a lot of times that gets lost. Artists don't remember or don't think to do that.
It's because of the pace of the music's coming out, and it's like not microwave music in it. It's not as bad as it used to be, but music's coming out almost every Friday.
100%.
I don't know why Friday's the new release date or whatever, but I mean, maybe but I don't know. But it's so much like you listen to one album and it won't resonate, or not as much as it used to, where you used to read the details. Maybe because we're getting older and we haven't got time to sit down with a project, but people definitely resonate with you and sit with it and know your journey, and that's a bless. That's hats off to you for being able to do that.
Thank you, man. But that's the way I like music as well. Like my favorite songs are always the deep songs. Like bangers, we love bangers. Yeah, cool. But the songs that I play to this day are songs that I've listened to because when I listened to it first, they just hit me in a certain way, innit? And that's the music I'm trying to make.
I think you've definitely been getting a bit more soulful and introspective as you've matured as a man. Like with when Jay-Z dropped the 444 album, this phrase was coined called dad rap.
Yeah.
Would you say you're in this kind of category of sort of making dad rap?
100%.
Talking about society and almost kind of trying to drop gems and jewels and school people in your music now?
It's both, man. It's both. It's like, I've been doing it for time as well, but it's like people catch on late, innit? And if you listen to like Private Moments in Public, that's 2014. But if you listen to that from start to finish, that is dad rap, like 101. Like you listen to all the skits. All the skits are me talking to my wife, my kids in the background. You listen to the bars, like, you know what I mean? I got to finish this rhyme because my missus is coming home. I got to do the dishes. Like all these kind of things.
They got to be back by 1:30 or 1.
Yeah, like all that stuff. I've been doing it for a while. You know what I mean? And it's because what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to show you that. I'm just trying to show you that this is real life. Reality is what I do.
Like, Dad, you got to be one of the coolest dads in the playground and like with your kids, even though your kids probably don't think you're cool.
Yeah, I don't think I'm cool.
That's a title for a song right there.
Coolest dad in the
playground. Oh my God, someone spun me. We ain't even got kids yet. None that we know of yet. But boy,
hey, that's not our song. That's his song, bro.
No, I'm not rapping no more. Shit, I wasn't even a good rapper anyway back in the day. But just talking about going back to the beginning of our conversation, things that you love doing.
Yeah.
And then what Cal's saying, sort of dad rap, and you're dropping gems and you're speaking to the young people and your fans. And so what else are you involved with where you're helping young people and you're educating people outside of music? My
day job is a youth worker. So technically I'm a gangs worker is what they call it, what I do. But yeah, essentially I'm a youth worker and I'm working with young people. Yeah.
Calling it a gang worker?
Gangs worker, yeah.
Who coined that term? Because that's mad in itself. Or
it is mad. I think it came through, they all come through like funding. It's how it's funded, and they're looking for people that work with gangs. So then you say, okay, the organisation I work for, they're like, well, we work with gangs, we're gangs workers. So we're kind of in a position, at the moment, we're trying to get that taken away because it just doesn't sound right. But yeah, that's what I do. So I work with young people that are involved either in gangs or involved in youth violence or violence. And we do music projects, which is the main thing I do, but we're also branching out into short films, and I do mentoring as well. So yeah, I'm in a position where I can talk to a lot of young people about stuff that I've already been through.
Mentoring is huge as well. I think everybody needs a mentor, no matter what stage you are at in life.
Yeah.
There's always someone you can look up to and someone that has a bit more wisdom than what you have. I don't know. Do you get a sense of satisfaction from actually being a mentor? Is there something that you get from doing that kind of work?
I do. I do like it, but it's a lot of pressure. So you're in a position where especially when you're giving advice on what really could be life and death situations. So you're dealing with people that are in beef with other people, and you're trying to say, nah, do you know what? Like, try bless it, try and allow it, try and hold it down. At the same time, you don't know what's going on the other side. So you could be setting them up for a situation where they're gonna get hurt. So there is a lot of pressure on your shoulders, trying to give them the right advice, but also trying to get them to be safe as well. So it's tricky. But when you do see certain young people that I work with, that even if they haven't totally moved out off the road, but their mindset is already, they're trying to move. And I recognize that, like I'm like, okay, like I remember that feeling. I remember what that's like. I remember being in a situation and being like, okay, I'm here, but I'm trying to get there. And not really having anybody on my level that could show me the steps. So I had obviously I had my parents, but their idea of how to move from one place to another place was very different. Whereas I'm in a position where I can really tell them, this is the best way to go about what you're trying to do.
Where my parents would have had me moving in shirt and trousers and church shoes from one place to another. So
it's different.
There's
that's what I'm
nothing
saying.
wrong though. That discipline, though, man.
Things from one generation to another can be so different sometimes.
Yeah, but you got to move with the times. If people wanted to get into mentoring, because there's people listening or watching, how would you advise sort of they go about it, or where they could start? Because I'm sure there's some people with a story to tell or have experienced road or gangs or this life, and sort of what would your words of wisdom be if they wanted to help other young people or people similar to themselves?
With everything, there's many different paths. There's a really simple way that you can help young people around you is by looking at the young people around you. We got cousins, we got little brothers, little sisters, all those kind of things. We got neighbors. Like, if you're in a situation or if you're in a position where you have young people around you and you have a voice of influence, then you should be using that influence for good. And I feel like a lot of times, even our elders, they kind of had the same. They were always like, I remember being in a situation and I was a baller. I played basketball.
My guy, me too.
That was
well,
my thing, right?
I'm sure. Who's your favorite player? Who did you used to play like?
Iverson, man.
Yeah,
Iverson.
yeah.
Your point guard?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, point guard, man. Had the braids like Iverson, everything. Like, trust me. And I remember being in situations. I grew up in Brixton, but at that time I was in Luton, and playing basketball and also being around some naughty kids. And I remember them telling me, "Nah, man, stick to ball, innit? Like, yeah, you're a baller. That's what you're gonna do. Like, play basketball. Like, you shouldn't be around here. Like, when the lights went off in the court, they'd be like, yeah, go home. Because I'd be chilling by the bus stop, chilling by the shops, and them lot like, what you doing there, man? Go home, innit?
Did you used to go on them like the Brixton runs, the midnight runs?
I got my free trainers from the midnight runs.
If you
I
don't know,
was helping out. I got my tops and all that.
Wow, you was heavy. If you don't know about the midnight runs back in the day,
yeah. Hey, listen, because I played Top Cats, innit? So
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Hey,
So that was listen.
Let me put down my cup.
So listen, I played with like Luau Deng.
Yeah.
Jeez, Deng was big as well.
Yeah,
You still got it. You still got the jab step.
Nah, man, I ain't got nothing. Like,
no shot.
You still got the shot. You know, the first thing to go is the shot. Them air balls.
It comes back though. The shot comes back quick.
The dribble,
man.
Yeah, the dribbling will always be there.
Listen, if you want to run, I've got to run. Well, we'll talk off air.
Yeah,
but if you want to run,
listen,
innit, we can scrimmage.
On camera, I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. Off camera, I'll be like, yo, I can't.
Yeah, Ings.
You're trying to kill me.
I'm still trying to play. I'm still playing, but anyway, sorry.
But yeah, man, I think like I'm saying, a lot of the elders in that time they weren't mentoring, but they were trying to give us like guidance. Like, yeah, don't do this, do something else. And I feel like if you're in a position where you can do that, you should definitely do it.
That's dope, man.
Building on from that, okay, so we're touching on sort of youth work and the roads. We just talk about this sort of Tekashi snitching concept thing. I know we brought it up. We just talk about a bit of pop culture now. So, what's your views on the whole all of that? As what is he doing? So, if you don't know, Tekashi 6ix9ine, a rapper or a plant, as some people thought in the industry, got caught up in a madness, and he's taking a stand, and he's naming Jim Jones, Cardi B, and all these people, and he's just trying to cut these 50 years plus down.
I think this is a teachable moment.
Like the concept of snitching and what he's going through because he's in the public eye.
All I can say is a teachable moment. So this idea of what people think gang is, what they think snitching is, who they think are gangsters, what they think the road is all fake. Like it's rubbish, innit? And I feel like a lot of times I'm telling young people what you're involved in is bullshit. They're not really. So I'm allowed to swear.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, you are now.
Thank you.
You're unlimited right now,
cool,
bro.
Listen, we've been drinking how much?
That's true. No, you never know. Like, you never
the
know,
lemonade's in the fridge. I've had to get Red Bull. Like,
Come on, rum and Red Bull
games.
classic
I'm
combo.
not like. Listen, I'm not in like on holiday. Rum and Red Bull.
The game's fake, man, and you're seeing it. You're seeing it now. So you're seeing someone who people thought was a gangster and was doing gangster shit. Nah, you're fake. The game's fake. People that got him involved in it, people who claim to be real gangsters who are involved in real criminal things, they weren't even handling their business the way a gangster should or what you think a gangster is. And I just feel like it's good. It's good that it's now in the open so you can see all this clown shit, man.
Everybody snitches though, don't they?
150. I've said this so many times. If Fez know everything, yeah, And the reason they know everything because everybody snitches. So all these guys who, like, my job, I work with gangs. I work with gang members. I see everything, man. I see paperwork. I see this stuff.
Jeez.
Right?
One thing I'm thinking about, though, is, like, will everyone have a price when it comes to snitching?
Even that high.
Like,
Hell
what,
yes.
would someone snitch for, like, £50?
No,
it's not even money,
it's
man.
freedom,
It's like your freedom. Because you have to remember as well, like, gangs ain't, like, we throw the word gang around so loosely. We use the word gangster so loosely. You're not in a position where, like, being a rat or being a snitch, these terms came around, where when gangster meant something totally different. You couldn't, if you had a gang, your gang wasn't just a bunch of mates that you were in school with or someone you just met. Oh, who's that? I just met him. Oh yeah, that's gang, we bro. That wasn't it. So you can't expect these people to have the same standards that these mafia people had back in the day, because you are family, you're blood, like, and you can't even be involved in that if you're not blood. The whole game's different. Even when you came together, the gang was put together not only to protect, but also for control of areas. No one's really doing it anymore. Guys are coming together because they want to make a little bit of money, like, and not even doing it in the right way. It's been said many times, there's no honor amongst thieves, and that's all it is.
I'd say with this Tekashi 6ix9ine scenario, I mean, if you've got like a life sentence or 25 to life or something like that, you're going to have to do whatever you have to do.
You're singing like Pavarotti, bruv. I don't care who you are, bruv. You're like,
100%.
Nessun Dorma.
Trust me.
Singing. And, people, like, there's a concept of snitching, yeah? And, like, snitches get stitches and da-da-da. But if you're a civilian, like, you're not part of that world or that life. So if you need to say this, whatever, you got to do what you got to do. And
100%. Like, I've never thought you're a snitch. If you're a civilian, you see something, then yeah, it is what it is, yeah. But again, there's even levels to that. So it's like, what do you even class as snitching, even in the loosest term? To me, if I see you doing something, you're making money, and it ain't bothering nobody else, me then calling up the feds, that's snitching, yeah?
That's mad. But
Cool,
if I
'cause
see you
it's
beating
mad.
down a woman or doing a
I'm
madness,
calling feds, like, straight away. Are you mad?
200%, yeah. Or
Like,
a child,
after I
or
beat you, then I'm calling feds. Like,
that's it.
and I feel like that's this whole idea of, like, we've got this attitude of, make feds do their work, man. Like, what they getting paid for?
Boris.
Real.
Like, I'm trying to call feds more. Like, I'm trying to look for things to call feds for. Like, I'm trying to snitch. Like, are you mad? Why don't let
Create
them
some
do
job
some work?
opportunities. Man's
Like,
trying to create some
straight.
job opportunities in the
Like,
hood, innit? Trying to
come
get
on,
more.
man.
Listen, we need more.
Listen.
Like, it may sound backwards,
You
but
teeth my car, I'm calling feds.
That's
Like,
it.
straight away. I don't care. I see you outside my yard looking shifty, I'm calling feds. Like, I don't know you. Who are you? And I feel like there's so many, this idea of, like, this idea of gangster, man, it is so, it's lost, man. And a lot of people, they want to have, because we also, it's glamorous, right? It's glamorous. Yeah. Man's gang, man's on the road, really. But the fact of the matter is, this idea that a lot of people have in their heads of what the road is and all the glamorous sides of it, it just doesn't
not the
exist.
reality.
It's
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I can tell you, like, even if we talk in our little areas of London, yeah, you know there's certain men that are really about it, really doing their thing. That's cool. But they're like the 1%. Everyone else underneath them is just like, you're living hand to mouth. Like, you're earning less than a Tesco's worker. So, like, who
Mad
cares?
thing.
Like,
you should be bagging up
Boy.
food instead of
Yeah,
bagging up
like,
food.
For real.
You can have that lyric for free. I'll give you.
I might take that. That was cold. That was cold.
That's going to be in his next mixtape.
Hey.
Hey,
And that's what it
I
is.
don't rap anymore. It takes me about 8 years to come up with a fire lyric every now and again. But
But yo, Jen, we could talk to you forever, but we got to keep this short. We got to wrap this up, man.
Cool.
Before we go, I did want to, you did touch on if you teeth my car, I'm calling the feds, and that made me think. I know
100%.
you're a motor man. What kind of cars are you feeling right now?
What cars am I feeling? I was looking at their video the other day that Carwell put up about the new cars that are coming out, and to be fair, the only cars that are really still doing it are BMWs, man. Like, they got the looks. They're just keeping the classic looks. Mercedes got some nice cars.
I like that M2 still.
M2's cold. All
Looks
the
naughty,
M,
man.
yeah. M2's cold.
All the M's are cold.
All the M's are cold. Yeah. I've been looking at classic cars as well.
Okay.
Like, looking at some old.
You looking at a copper
cars.
classic car?
I'd love to, man. You know what I'd love to get? Ford Cortina Mark IV.
Oh, that's old school.
Yeah, because that's like when I was born, yeah, like 1980, 81. And I remember being a kid and seeing them everywhere. Like my uncle used to have one. I love to just find one of them and do them up. Nice.
Are those the ones that had the Cosworth engine?
Some of them did, yeah. So you had the Escort also had that.
Yeah.
And the Sierra had those engines, but I can't afford them ones. They're like 240 grand.
Hey, man.
Like nuts. Wow. Yeah, like, because they're rally cars.
Maybe when the shell's coming from your next project.
Yeah, listen.
Off the strength of this episode, I'll get a new car stereo and we'll break you up a bit of pee for the new car. So with the old car, when you have the tape or the Bluetooth. So with an old car, you can't have no new sound. You got to have a little tape deck thing, right?
What I want to do is gut the whole thing, put everything new in it. Like I want digital
Pimp my
dash.
ride.
Pimp my ride.
Yeah, pimp my ride.
Not Exhibit, Genesis, Elijah. Listen.
I should do that, innit, man?
Bro, speak it into existence.
So we're going to talk after we get these cameras and we get...
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
Right, this is Beer Rap and Banter at Beer Rap Bands. I've been English.
I've been Cal.
I've been Genesis Elijah, man.
Just let us know where we can hit you up with your music, where we can follow you and continue to grow with you on your journey.
I'm the easiest person in the world to find for any reason. Genesis Elijah on all platforms, or you can see me in these streets.
And you want to Spotify or stream the album?
Again, just search Genesis Elijah. You will find my music, man.
And it's biblical. Elijah.
Yeah, right, man. Genesis like in the Bible. Elijah like in the Bible. Come on.
Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate it. I'll get the handshake right this time.
Thank you.
All right, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, follow. We keep putting this work in. Big up Jake behind the scenes. Good night. God bless.
We out.
Peace.
Phones on silent, please. Everyone in the back. Phones on silent or on vibrate, something like that. We definitely don't want to hear like some Backstreet Boys ringtones going off in the middle of this.
I told you that in confidence, man. In confidence.
I want it. No, that's NSYNC, innit?
Tell me why.
It's the podcast Backstreet Boys.
You know that's going to be Castillo's ringtone as well, isn't it? Tell me why.
What's a modern day boy band? I don't even know. All right, let's go. Okay.
Shit.
Go in.
All right, let me just actually stop all of this waffle.